down to the neighborhood where it feels like your childhood. Your friendly neighborhood guide gives it her all, bringing you the local haul. All kinds of comics, classic and new, Marvel, DC, and indies too. Readers and creators in unity, welcome to our community.
Hello, nerdy neighbor! That's right, I downloaded a couple sound effects to be extra obnoxious tonight, but welcome back to the nerdy neighborhood, everybody, and welcome back to your friendly neighborhood comic show. I'm so excited to be here live with you guys tonight. It is our first live monthly live show. And we've got quite the lineup tonight. This show became a lot bigger than I originally thought it would be, which is so exciting. Not only is that our first monthly live show, but it's our re-election show where you guys got to vote on re-electing spots in our neighborhood, including fictional comic characters and real people, which is even more exciting because we may have some real upsets tonight. We may have some real victories tonight. But on top of all that, we're going to just do some good time talking about November comics, because at the end of the day, that's what this neighborhood is all about. It's all about comics and connecting. Before we go to our first segment with our neighborhood check-in, I want to touch on just a couple things. I want to shout out Anthony Caruso. He was supposed to be on the show tonight, but unfortunately he is sick at the last minute, which sucks. So sickness, get out of here. You're not allowed in the neighborhood. But all that said, hopefully he gets better soon and we'll be able to bring him on the show another time. Shout out to Anthony if you are listening, or if you're sleeping. Either way, we love you. We hope to see you soon. And if you haven't noticed on the channel, even though we are going live less often, we are still putting out more content on the channel, which is exciting, different things to kind of see what you guys like. So be sure you check out our new Cooking with Creatives episodes, where we sit down and interview with different comic creatives, indie comic creators in particular. Check out their Kickstarters if they have one. It's a really great time, really important thing that if you have the money and you like the project, investing in it in some way really makes a difference in these creators' lives. You have no idea. I've also been putting up some comic collection content, trying to show some more personable stuff with my collection and what I do. So if you like those, let me know. I'm working on putting some other stuff up there. Hope you guys are enjoying it. And the last thing, be sure to check out our Discord if you haven't already. It's in the description below of the video. With all the craziness with Twitter and social media right now, Discord is kind of one stable spot for me right now, and it's very easy to connect with all of you, and for all of you connect with me. So if it's not friendly to you, I totally understand, but if you're willing, join the Discord. I get to give out some exclusive updates there as well that I don't put on Twitter and things like that. It's a really nice spot to connect with your other neighbors too. Check out that Discord if you're up for it. And without further ado, let's get started. We got some guests coming on. We've got to check in with our neighbors in live chat. So let's do our neighborhood check-in. DC Patrol was here earlier telling us to have an awesome show, because I'm sure he is very busy. Thank you so much, DC. I hope you enjoy the replay when you get around to it. And Cookie Monster is here. What is up, Cookie? So great to have you join the live chat tonight. I hope you can handle the craziness tonight. I know you can, because you're on Gathering with the Geeks every night. It's a great time. And Grabs is here. What's up, Grabs? Shout out to Grabs. So he had done some stuff on his own channel with like Comic Budgie and stuff, but now him and Comic Guy Steve have a channel on YouTube called Midlife Vices, where I believe talk about movies and things like that. So check it out if you guys haven't already. It's on YouTube as well. You can type as you're listening to me and our guests tonight, whatever works for you. But huge shout out. Thanks for joining the chat tonight, Grabs. Good to see ya. And I think it's time to bring on some guests. I know that's what a lot of people are here for, whether you're catching a replay or you're watching live now. So I wanted to bring on two guests. They've been on before. They're two of my favorite people. They're just amazing, lovely humans. They are from Gathering of the Geeks. You've got the chaos side, you've got the logic side. They're just wonderful people. Let's go ahead and bring on Chris Evans and Emmett Davis. What's up?
The chaos side. I like that. Chris
Yeah.
was talking about you. You are the chaos side.
No.
In case you weren't sure. So. Yeah, come on. Now.
I am sure you are the chaos.
Since when do you deny the chaos, Chris? Who are you? Are you possessed? This is the wrong Chris clone. I call Sinister and request a redo.
No one speaks to Sinister. He's busy.
Well, thank you guys for joining tonight. It's so exciting having you both on. This is our first monthly live, and we've got the holidays coming up. We got holidays having already happened for some people. What are your guys' feelings on the holidays in general? Are you like holiday guys, or are you chill with it, or are you like, no, thank you?
Christopher?
I love the holidays, but I don't really care about Thanksgiving, but I do love it. Like Christmas and the time of the year. I love it, but not so much Thanksgiving. I could just do without it.
I love all of it. Thanksgiving is not as big of a deal as it is in America. Up here in Canada, we already had our Thanksgiving over a month ago, but I love every single holiday. I'm a big fan of.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not too big on Thanksgiving either, other than family time. Like, that's why I'm a holiday person, because it's an excuse to say I'm taking a break from work, I'm taking a break from everything, and just focusing on family and enjoying life. But Christmas, I was talking with my mom when we were driving to lunch today, and she was like, man, Christmas is going to be here before you know it. And I said, yeah, it should be. Yeah. She's like, what? I was like, I want it right this second. I'm like a child. Like, I'll still get up super early to look at my stocking before opening presents, even though I know the secret. I'm going to say it to spoil for any children that for some reason are watching this show that probably isn't appropriate, but I'm going to spoil the secret. And it's our re-elections tonight. How do you guys feel the re-elections in terms of how do you guys think it's gone? Have you guys enjoyed it? Do you guys think it'd be better? Be completely honest. Emmett, go first this time.
I like that you're doing the re-elections. I think there were some really suspect elections to begin with, so I'm glad there's some changes hopefully happening. So I'm very happy you're doing it. I love the whole idea of the neighborhood and expanding the neighborhood, and I like that you're now hopefully going to get the neighborhood a little bit more correct as well.
Chris, you look like you have some thoughts about what Emmett just said.
I don't think it was incorrect before, to be honest. maybe a couple of them, which we'll get to later, I'm sure. Like the Joker is a good idea. I think everybody should embrace that. But we'll see. I know Emmett does not like that idea.
It's so funny.
Oh, what is going on here?
See? I am not the chaos.
Grabs you so-and-so.
He did have something to tell Chris, though, at least.
I am not anti-holiday, just anti-Thanksgiving. Sort of.
But
I'm excited about the election, though.
If the Joker won as mayor, would you want him to outlaw Thanksgiving because you don't like Thanksgiving?
No, because other people do. It's just not funny.
Okay, so you're not completely chaotic, just in the zone chaotic.
Slightly, just my personal space.
Mildly chaotic.
Mildly chaotic, yes.
Mildly chaotic. Is that like a new, how like they have like chaotic neutral and like chaotic evil and like lawful neutral and stuff? Where would you fall on that, Chris?
I guess mildly. That sounds good. Depending on the question, though. Or the situation.
Yeah. Ask him about Halloween Ends. Ask him about the Munsters. And then
the Munsters?
We don't have time for that.
Then we'll see the chaos come out.
We don't have time for the Munsters right now.
Well, you know what? Save it for the Halloween show next year. We're already have the game. This is fantastic.
Oh, jeez.
We won't even have to think that hard on it. Emmett, where would you see yourself on that alignment chart off the top of your head?
Oh God, I don't know. I'm on the low end, that's for sure. I'm at the low end of
what? There's no low end on the alignment chart.
Isn't there? Oh, sure there is.
It's like there's lawful, and I think good, and then chaotic, right? There's the three, and then you got neutral and good and bad.
Chaotic is at the top. Neutral's obviously in the middle. I'm right there at the bottom. I'm in the calm, cool, and collected. I'm all about it.
That would be neutral, unless you're like super good.
Yeah,
neutral's
super good.
In the middle.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm underneath neutral.
You're making your own spot.
That's right. I'm making it my own.
I love
that's
it.
a little chaotic, though. Maybe
I think you should
do
get to my level.
Yeah. No one can get there, Chris. No one can get that. No one can do it.
We could try.
Zeddy is in the chat as well, and Sasha, if in case you guys don't know, Zeddy and I have this fun thing where we talk about Sasha Cal, who is going to play Supergirl in the Flash. So tell her means the world. And look, I wore the hat that says her. She didn't give me the hat, but I'm wearing her symbol. Hopefully she likes it. But yeah, did you guys? Because we're about to talk about our poll results, because even though we haven't been live the entire month until now, we still did some polls this month. How do you guys feel about the polls? Do you still like them? Are they okay?
I love polls. I think they're a good time.
Yeah, Chris is all about science. So
I think they're fun.
Science.
They are for science, but I think they're fun because you get people involved. You get to hear other people's opinions on different things, and it's just a good time.
Mm-hmm.
As long as everybody doesn't kill each other over them.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought you wanted chaos, though, Chris.
Not with the polls. I don't have the patience for that anymore.
No, that's right. He doesn't want that. No, that's right.
No.
Calm, cool.
Greb said my wife keeps me away from the polls. Oh, man. I don't know whether to say good woman or like, dang, that's a shame. I'm not sure which. A neighborhood science teacher. I can put that on the list. That's a good one, because we're going to talk about that. So we want to see
every answer, Nathaniel.
Oh, okay. You know what? Now we're on Nathaniel, so we got to move on. Let's go ahead and talk about our poll results. Let's just go forward. Alrighty. So speaking of getting other people's opinions, we have another special guest we're going to bring on right this second. Maybe he'll out the odds. Maybe it will get worse. We don't know. But let's go ahead and bring on our neighborhood punisher, Eric. What's up,
Hey,
Eric?
everyone.
How's it going?
Good.
You got some nice curtains back there.
I know.
I'm literally looking at the ones on the right with the etching. Like, how'd they do that? Well,
high level stuff here.
Yeah,
really high level content coming to the neighborhood right now. So we had 2 polls that I remember. If I forgot one, somebody let me know. But on the tour, we had 2 polls go up this month. 2 new roles that came to the neighborhood. We had the neighborhood mortician come up, which was filled by Ra's al Ghul, and we had our neighborhood firefighter, which was filled by Mara from DC Comics, in case you don't know who she is for some weird reason. So, Eric, what are your thoughts on those winners? Did you agree with those winners? Would you rather have seen somebody else in those roles?
Well, first of all, those polls hit hard. Second of all, the firefighter beer winning was a wave election, total washout, and a tsunami at the same time. For Ra's al Ghul, I mean, he knows how to bring, I guess he knows how to bring out the best in dead people,
Yeah, I was gonna say nobody's staying dead long in this neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we have laws enacted on the Lazarus pits. Emma, what did you think about the winners? Because I do agree with Eric on Mara. It was a totally washout. She really proved she is the best for the firefighter job.
Yeah, like of all the polls that you did, that one might have been the easiest one to vote for. Literally a woman who can control water makes the most total sense. So that was an easy one, and one not to get too upset about for sure.
Yeah, what's crazy is that because she was on there, but Aquaman also was. So I'm wondering.
Yeah, but he can't control water.
Okay, that was a difference.
He just lives in it.
Yeah, he just lives in it. You know what? He doesn't do anything. He can't move his hands and all that bullshit that she does in the movie or whatever. So yeah, she was the clear winner for sure.
That makes sense. I actually didn't know that difference. Is that bad?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really don't care about Aquaman, I guess. Chris, what do you think of Ross Gold taking neighborhood mortician.
I thought that was fitting. The guy knows his way around some dead bodies, so it works.
Oh, yeah.
And he seems to never run out of Lazarus pits too, so that's good.
Yeah, no, the Lazarus pits. That's the thing. Lazarus pits are going to make or break this entire situation with death in our neighborhood.
Maybe he needs like Krakoan rules.
Does Krakoa have rules at this point? Let's be real.
Kinda, sorta.
Like, the next book coming up is Immoral, or one of the next books coming up for Sins of Sinister is Immoral X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
No morals. Absence of morals.
It's okay. We'll get
Who
Hmm.
there.
can keep up with that crazy Krakoa, man? There's too much going on. Can't keep up.
I mean, that's a valid criticism. I mean, it's hard enough just with the amount of books. I totally get it. But I think even when it first started that era, it was easier because they were more connected. And now they feel like they're so separated. Even for me, like I read like 2 books and that's it now. So it is tougher. What are some people you'd like to see join the neighborhood in the future? Any characters that you're like, they really need to be in the neighborhood soon?
Dick Tracy.
What?
I think he would be a good addition to the neighborhood.
Yep.
He's a good detective, and he gets stuff done. He wears a cool yellow coat.
So what would you be? A neighborhood detective?
Neighborhood private eye.
PI, yeah.
Now that could be a tough poll because there are plenty of well-known private detectives who are common characters.
Detective Chimp.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I was gonna say you're gonna have like every Gotham Batman fan on your tail about that one. To say put private eye or detective, like
maybe you got to cut the Bat fan like they're not allowed.
Yeah, I would say because I Bat fan over here, but I have to agree with Chris because it's like Detective Chip, Dick Tracy, The Shadow.
Oh, The Shadow, yeah.
The Question. Although whether or not we count it, that character is a bad character.
You just got to take out detective. You got to take out detective. Keep it the PI, the private investigator.
There you go.
Do it. You can have Jessica Jones in there too.
Daredevil, like he has detective skills. Do we forget this? I guess we do.
Jessica Jones is better.
That's true. If I had to pick between the two, yeah, I'd agree with that. Zeddy wants to be in neighborhood. Well, what role should we put Zeddy in?
Male model.
Superman? What'd you say, Emma?
Male model.
Male model?
Yeah, don't you remember the Oscars last year?
Of course I do. How could I forget that was Zeddy? I couldn't forget that.
Zeddy's gonna have a
like, we're not going to be
year.
like Neighborhood Magic Mike or something. We could go further with that, Emma.
The neighborhood stripper.
Not really a category, but I would like to see. I know more indie characters. Like I've been reading like a bunch of Top Cow stuff that I've missed for an entire decade, and it's like that universe is like something else. So it's like from them, from the rest of Image, maybe we could get them in somehow rather than just be Big Two all the time. Although we've kind of been good at getting some nominations.
Yeah, I think that's the harder thing too, is with the nominations. if you have like 10 nominations and like 6 of them are indies, the 4 that are Marvel or DC are going to get the most votes.
Yeah.
That's a harder thing too. So I don't know. I'd like to see that transition like a little more, a couple of times the indie people win, but that kind of just depends on what the neighborhood wants, Maybe we can do some indie only roles like for the first run, and then we can have more re-elections and it can be up for grabs then. Are there any specific roles you want to see? Because I think it was Ballyrock in the chat that said neighborhood science teacher. We already talked about neighborhood private eye, neighborhood stripper. Anything else that we want to vote on in December? So apparently y'all want to vote for neighborhood stripper in a very
I'm out on
religious
that
mom.
one. I just want to put Twig in something.
Twig!
Twig
Yes.
deserves to be on a poll.
Yeah, what
Yes.
did Twig do?
The Twigvolution comes to the
Yes.
neighborhood.
Hashtag Twigvolution. Use it to get Scotty on his attention because I can't.
Yeah.
Twig.
I was gonna go with a controversial choice and say friendly, neighborhood gangster, even though we have nightclub owner already.
Two different things, though.
Yeah, they're definitely
be.
different. You can run a nightclub and not be in a mob. Even though it's Kingpin. So it's not true for him, but I still think Emma should have won that. That's the one I'm very bitter about. That is my one if I had to pick one. She should be the first club owner. This is a sham.
Why didn't you put that one up for re-election?
Yeah.
Because I prioritize the ones that you all wanted to see.
Oh.
Because I listen to you guys.
Well, isn't that just stupid?
So what
Don't listen to us.
What if Lauren is actually Amanda Waller in disguise, like a Scooby-Doo
what I
kind of
was thinking.
disguise? You pull the mask off and it's Lauren?
You never know. I mean,
pulling the strings behind the scenes.
I didn't post a Halloween costume this year on social media anywhere, so it's possible.
And
Like
she
a
would have
Scooby-Doo.
gotten away with it too if it wasn't for us meddling kids.
Meddling nerds, how dare you? Awesome. Well, those of you watching, if you guys think of any other categories you would like to see us vote on in December, let me know. And I'd also like to hear what you guys think about the polls being on Twitter versus our Discord, because I know we've got the craziness with Twitter and all this mess. So what do you guys think? I'll ask you three here now before we move to the next segment. What do you guys think? Do you prefer the polls kept on Twitter for now, or do you want to see them move to Discord?
Twitter's still here.
Twitter's still here.
We're promoting stuff on Twitter about other things. We're promoting Discord on Twitter. So just promote on Twitter.
I can keep it to Twitter. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if anybody else has any other thoughts on it, please feel free to share. Maybe I can do polls on both if absolutely necessary, but the easier the better at this point. So any last thoughts on our poll votes on the neighborhood from Emma and Chris especially?
I like it.
Yeah, it's all good. Keep it simple. Great to go, Chris.
So in the end, the chaos and logic agree. I love that.
Oh, oftentimes we meet in the middle.
Sometimes.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on tonight. I do appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and move to our next segment. I'm going to put y'all in the green room. You guys are welcome to step out if you need to, but you guys might want to hang around in the live chat or the green room because I don't know. I might make you guys come back on tonight. We'll have to see. But thank you, Chris. Thank you, Emmett. You guys are the best as always. So good to see y'all. Those of you guys watching, be sure to check out Gathering of the Geeks every Sunday at 9. Unless Chris or Em are on a journey. Sometimes you go on random journeys. They keep you updated on Twitter.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Hopefully we will see you in a bit.
Maybe.
Thanks, Lauren.
All righty. So our next segment, Eric is going to stay with us, a Punisher. We are going to really talk about our Kickstarters and indie comics, especially our Kickstarters, and we're going to have a spotlight, which is very exciting. But that's what this channel is all about. The two foundations are you all, the nerdy neighbors, and the two independent comics, because we love our Marvel and DC, as you can tell from our hats. But we wouldn't have the big two without indie comics in the first place. So I want to bring on our next guests for this segment. We've got 3 coming on, so it's about to be a bigger party up in here. Our first guest, he is another amazing fan. You've seen him before. He's actually in his kitchen apparently, which I think is great for the neighborhood. Please welcome Chase on, which is I Comment on Comics. How are you, Chase?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Not much. I love those curtains too. Why are my curtains so boring?
Before we go on to the next segment, I just want to say Twig could be like neighborhood school mascot.
Ooh.
And I was thinking also like Lockjaw or Lockheed or like
Love that.
Lion Cat.
You're just naming the Pet Avengers.
Lion Cat could also go around as like neighborhood therapist. Also,
I love
or if
that.
there's a way we could get the Mr. Rogers from that web comic where he lifts Thor's hammer, hands it to him. You know, the comic Mr. Rogers in there somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, as long as it's not a comic, doesn't have to be anything fancy.
Those are all
that.
my notes I've taken.
I love that. I just wrote them all down. I have so much on this one sticky note.
Oh, mine's a pink paper too. Look at us.
Yay, twins. Well, we also have 2 other guests joining us for a segment, as I noted. We've got one of the biggest fans of one of the best books out right now from Scout Comics. I hope it's Scout. I hope I'm not too tired today. I'm pretty sure it's Scout. But please welcome Bally Rock, leader of By the Horns. What's up?
Hi, everybody.
Come on, Bally Rock.
Hey,
How's it going?
Good.
In the same vein, I'd love to see Elodie from By the Horns nominated for something. Not sure what category to put her in. She might actually work for Exterminator because she hunts down a lot of monsters with her big sword.
You know what? That's definitely possible, and I would love to see her too because I know she's actually becoming one, she's a fantastic character, regardless of popularity. But I'm seeing a lot of our fans really starting to be like, "Yeah, she's so good. She's one of my favorites now." So
She's awesome.
yeah, she's so great. But all that said, I'd love to hear what this next person thinks of what you just said, Bally Rock, whether he's on the same page with you or whether he's like, no. This is the creator and the writer of By the Horns. We are bringing back Marcus Son. What's up?
Hey, how's it going? Skull.
Hey.
Nice.
Yeah.
That looks good. Thanks for coming back on. It's been a while.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Although I'm wondering if I should do this cast from my bathroom like Chase.
No,
Hey, it's
man,
kitchen. I'm in my kitchen. Thank you.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
It does look like a shower curtain.
Well, here's the thing: is I think it was a shower curtain. I'm almost positive it was, and we just made it blinds instead because they're thicker, you know, and it's cold here.
That works.
Yeah, it's getting really cold here, like to the point where I have a separate heater in my room, like on the floor right now. And I can't tell you the last time I had that because I usually like the cold. But like even now in socks and slippers, my feet are freezing, and it is.
It's been snowing for the last 3 days, just randomly.
Oh, wow.
I got a space heater in my office here because it's getting so cold. It's like in the 20s here in Chicago the other day.
Oh, in Chicago. I've been to Chicago. I know you live there. I've been there like when doors were frozen in cars, like a whole block of ice. Like there's no way of getting the cars out of there. I couldn't imagine living there.
It's not that bad. I grew up in Syracuse, New York, and it was a lot snowier and a lot colder. I used to have to dig my way out the front door when I was a kid just to go to school. And they never canceled school because you had to be tough back then.
right.
You know?
I was always jealous of the people who are like in Buffalo. You always see like the garage door open up and it's just still snow as it goes.
That's right. Yeah.
Always
My
wanted to be
mom's
like
from
that.
Buffalo. You know, it's like a couple hours from Syracuse. So, yep, central New York snow. Pretty bad.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy, Mark. I love that you touched on like how, like even back in the day, like you would just have to tough it out. Like even here, we don't get that bad typically, but when we would get snow and ice, we were still going to school. Like we were lucky if school was canceled the morning of, an hour before school started.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's like there's a possibility snow comes and school is canceled, and I'm like,
Yeah.
lucky kids, damn.
They literally just send tablet home with my son just in case they cancel school so he could do school from home.
Really?
Like, so they don't get snow days or anything anymore.
Yeah.
That's rough.
They'll find a way.
Don't take
That's
no
absolutely
chances.
wild. Yeah, it's wow. Nowadays, yeah, they're just prepared for everything. Well, before we talked about our spotlight for indie comics here, I wanted to just mention some of the Kickstarters that got funded that were on our channel recently, and hopefully by help for you guys and so many other people. So Kickstarters like Fairy Tales from Mars, Shirtwood and the Company of Women, Path of the Pale Rider, Worlds Away, and Vengeance Emerges were all funded after they were on our channel, which is super exciting. So if you were backing any of the projects, thank you for doing that. If you couldn't back, but even just shared them, get awareness, thank you for doing that. It's really cool to just see all these things get the spotlight they deserve, and these creators get the chance to make works they really love. I wanted to ask here, did any of you guys get the chance to back any of these projects, or were there any of these that really stood out to you in general?
I'll say Magic Powder.
Yeah.
Magic Powder, I loved, and that funded recently after he was on here too.
Yes,
Magic
yes,
Powder
you're
3, I
right.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot he was on here so recently again. Yep, Mr. Jeff Scheller. Yeah, Magic Powder. I really feel like there's something there.
It's
in
so
terms
good. I
of-
don't know how it's not going to be picked up by somebody and redistributed because it's good. It's really good.
I read the first issue that I got a PDF. Somebody sent me a PDF of that, and I thought it was really good.
The art's fantastic too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the art is very good. Yeah, it's a unique premise, for fantasy. So
Yeah, I think he said it's like
should be picked
fantasy
up.
with Sopranos.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's a good description.
And it moves quick. It's just a fun read.
Yeah, it's so well done. I can't remember how many issues he said he had planned. I think maybe 6 if I'm crazy. But yeah, I really think it's something that can be built onto. Like it really has potential to build the world out and to become something you do distribute over time and see grow in different ways. But I like that he's also not building the world too fast, because sometimes I see that. I'll be like, yeah, this is so good. It has great potential for world building. And then it builds too fast. And it's like, oh man, like just a little too fast. But in terms of our spotlight, By the Horns, which you write, Marcus-on, of course.
I'm getting spotlighted? Wow. Okay.
Yes! Of
Nice.
course! You do such a good job building that world. You and Jason and Steve, like, it is absolutely beautiful how you build the world while managing all those characters and also having a plot. Like, who does all these things at once?
I don't know, but I really appreciate it.
What's in?
I will say that I bought the trade after your episode, so it worked on me.
Oh, nice.
And now I have like alarm things set up because I'm trying to get the Maria Wolf variant cover.
Yes, he's
Oh,
been.
yeah.
You were telling me that.
Yeah,
We
I'm
have it.
trying to
It's
find it.
It's in my shop. It's in my online shop, I think.
Is it?
I think so. If you just go to markisan.com, MARKISAN. Oh, I think my name's up here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a shop. You can click and I believe it's in there. I don't have many left, but the ones I have, I think Maria signed them.
Nice.
So it'd be Maria. I might have all three of her signatures on some of the copies.
I just got her to do a power bomb cover.
Cool.
Nice.
It's so good.
Yeah, Maria's a good friend of mine. So we've tabled together at a con, and she doesn't live that far from here. So we go out and eat chicken wings together. And
When you see her, you tell her Chase thinks her covers are great.
I will.
He's not alone.
She'll know who you're talking about.
I feel like Chase, with how much you talk about her covers, which are absolutely fantastic. You just want like a Maria Wolf like room with like all her.
Oh, I do. You know how I always set up the different covers randomly. I'm trying to build up to 10 of her covers so I can put all of her covers up there.
I'm shocked you don't have the By the Horns because it's her first major cover. That's the thing
I
launched
came
her,
to
man.
knowing that it was there a little too late, but
I see.
I'm getting to it. I got her recent her Genis Bell cover, which is awesome. I love her Women of Marvel, the Ilyana one. It's so good.
Yeah.
I like
all of her X-Men ones are good.
They're good. I like the barbaric one that she's been doing.
Oh yeah,
all those. The
I like
magic
her
cover
Warpath
she
one,
did.
I think.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. So good.
I tried to buy it in the beginning, so I have the original cover that she did for By the Horns, which was great. But then when she started doing other covers, I tried to buy them. But of course, people were already in line looking to buy those things. So, and now she's so prolific. She's got so many covers.
She's so good. Her style is great. I love it. Her Ghost Rider one that she recently put out.
Yeah.
It's like she doesn't believe in negative space. There's always room for a swirl or something.
Right. That's true.
A demon head could fit here pretty nice.
She finds a way.
It sounds like she needs to be in the neighborhood because we don't believe in negative space either here. So, Ballyrock, I've kind of dubbed you low key the leader by the horns because you're so outspoken about it. You really love this book, and rightfully so. What would you say is one of your favorite things overall about By the Horns that really grabs you and keeps you in there?
I love the the overall adventure and the world building that Marcus Ann's doing. I mean, every arc, they put so much detail into it. Like for the monster manual entries that they pretty much have with all the various creatures that are encountered on the journeys. I love everything that you guys are doing. I like that the second arc is focused a lot on trust. I've found it's a lot about Elodie building trust with the friends that she's made and learning to trust them again. And trust seems to be a big theme. And grief was really the big theme in the first series, I thought. Marcus, and what made you want to tackle those two themes?
Grief, I don't know. For some reason, I like doing that in comic books because I did that in Voracious. And then when I was writing By the Horns, like, oh man, I'm doing this again. Like, I'm doing the same thing, but it's the opposite end of it, because in Voracious, Nate wanted to get away from that as much as possible. He didn't want to deal with it at all. And Elodie's different in that she wants to tackle it head on. She wants to be proactive. So, as far as trust goes, yeah, she has a lot of trust issues because her loved one is trampled by unicorns and she can't do anything about it. And nobody can really help her. And, all these monsters are out there and she just sees everybody as an enemy, as a threat, or as somebody she cares about who might go away. And so, of course, she has to build that up and over time. And then so this arc really is about, it's about trust. It's about building a family, your chosen family, but it's also really about taking responsibility for the things that you did before. Because even though in the first arc, what happened, I felt like Elodie's in the right. What she was doing was right, but it still has consequences that she didn't foresee, that she couldn't foresee. But that doesn't make them less important or less palpable to the other characters and creatures within that realm. So it's about, making choices, but then also recognizing that they can affect others around you. So I don't know. I think the reason I wanted to do that and the trust and all that is it just stems from that original series. When you have a character and what's going to be the natural progression, how is she going to build upon what she learned in that first arc? So, and that's very important to me for all the characters. So you'll see that more and more as the book goes along.
I love how just human everything about that is, right? In terms of it's a story where she's dealing with unicorns, all these magical things, but on a deeper level, it's universal no matter who you are, where you come from. And I really like exactly what you said there, Mark Son, which is what she was doing was right, but it still had consequences. And I think that's a really big life lesson. You can do something that is right, but that doesn't mean that it won't have consequences. No matter what your motivation is or drive or whatever, you still are going to have consequences you have to deal with. And we've really, I think, also been seeing that, in this second arc as well, Dark Earth, which I think it's interesting that, Scout was like, we're not going to keep going with By the Horns number 8 or 9, whatever was next. We're going to, just rename it Dark Earth. Have you seen benefit from that?
That's a really good question because the whole point was to have a benefit where you get a bump with a number 1. I really did not want to renumber it. I would have just kept it. But, we're an indie book. We get royalties, but we don't make a ton of money on it. We don't make enough money to cover the expenses for the colors and stuff up front in order to make the book. And, Jason's got a new baby, and for him to draw a book, he can do a page a day. He's fast, but still a page a day, and he has to do all these issues. So I couldn't say no to, relaunching the series with a new number 1, even though it really just continues. Because if it can give us a little extra bump, it can give us a little bit more money, then, that's great for everybody involved. So, I feel like we probably saw a little bit of a bump. I don't know if it's that significant. I don't think it takes away from it because I think we've built the audience. Hopefully we keep building the audience, but, and then we do the legacy numbering on the back of every issue too. So exactly what it is. But yeah, I mean, now, you know, we're committed to doing a series of miniseries, so we're not gonna, you know, just go back to the original numbering or anything like that. But this arc is 12 issues. It's weird to think about numbering though too, because so it's 12 issues. Scout's not going to put out a 12 issue trade, right? And I didn't think about that when writing it. They're going to break it up into 6. I'm like, I don't know if I like that much. And, you know, with ongoing series, they usually just break it up, and sometimes it's not a complete story, but I like it to be like a complete story.
Yeah.
So I have to try to think about that going forward. Like maybe 8's the maximum for it. But see, I was writing it as an omnibus. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome. That would,
They did the same with Barbaric, didn't they? They broke it into Axtagron now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They changed it to number 1 as well.
3 issues. Mm-hmm. Which I find kind of frustrating because that confuses the hell out of me.
I think it confuses me too, and I feel like a Neanderthal for saying it because it's just they're just adding something to the title. But like when you're searching for it, you're like, oh, was it Axtagron or is it like you don't know which one where it jumps?
Right. Yeah. No, it's tough, especially when you have multiples. And our series is probably going to run at least 50 issues. So you're going to have a bunch of
We'd only hope.
Bolly Rock was like, yes!
Totally.
I mean, you don't see long running indie series, you know. You know what's funny too is that we're going to be the longest running Scout book pretty soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing. Congrats already. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you back on for that?
Right?
Yeah.
I'll play that. Then maybe I'll do on camera.
I was putting them on the spot for you, Lauren.
I love it. Well, and honestly, I'm not big on omnibuy, getting an omnibus, because, like, again, they're just so big to read and small hand. But I would buy a By the Horns one. Like, that would probably be my first omnibus if they make one. So at Scout, I challenge you, make me buy an omnibus.
Yeah. Well, we're working on, we may do a Kickstarter hardcover for the first 8 issues.
Ooh.
So we may do hardcovers. We've been thinking about doing, I actually wrote out everything for the Kickstarter, did all the pricing and everything. So Jason has to do graphics, and, you know, we have to decide if it's worth doing or not, because I have no idea how well it will do. Voracious, we did 2 Kickstarters.
Yeah.
I guess this goes right into what we were talking before. So we did 2 and they were successful. And I assume that By the Horns would be more successful because I feel like we have more fans. I feel like By the Horns is more of, has more of a crossover potential for other people than Voracious did. So, but our goal for the Kickstarter would be, you know, to put out the book so people would have it, but also to make extra money that we can use towards the other series. So we wouldn't want to just do a Kickstarter to put something out, which is, you know, what a lot of people do. But we already have a publisher, book's already coming out.
Yeah.
So we'd be looking to like make extra money so that we would have a little bit of a cushion to make the book. And so that's kind of hard because I don't really know how well it would do. But I also just really want a nice hardcover. I have a French hardcover, which is nice, but I want one I can read.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's the thing too, is just feeling out, you know, like fan demand, or even just putting it out there and seeing, you know, if people are like, yeah, actually we're interested. Because if you get the idea out there and people get excited about it, then like it's literally like Bolly Rock. Everybody's like, oh, a hardcover. Yeah.
Totally.
I'll click 3 times and order it. Sure, man. So I think I actually agree. I think it's very possible for it to happen, and we'll push it like hell on here if you do decide to do it. So keep us posted.
Oh yeah, I will. Absolutely. And I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we move on from this segment, I did want to do something that actually Bolly Rock came up with and mailed to me and reminded me, hey, if Marcus is coming back tonight and you haven't done this yet, you can do it. So if you recall, Marcus, you were the one to win Something is Killing This Beat game when you came on the show, and you were super excited about the game. You were like, I should get
I made you do the game.
Yes,
you weren't going to do the game. And I was like, what?
It's true.
I come on here expecting to play.
It's true.
and I was victorious.
He came to play and he came to win.
Yes, I'm the champion here.
After making me, I have to do it. Making me do the game, you were like, make me a trophy, or I'm victorious. Where the hell is my trophy? Give me a challenge. So even though tonight I don't have a new challenge yet, maybe we'll save that for the hardcover Kickstarter promotion. Valley Rock actually came up with this idea. He made it and sent it to me to send to you.
It's a bespoke, unique piece of artwork.
Whoa, that's great.
Hand colored.
Hand colored.
That's awesome. Wait, is that for me?
Yes,
Of course.
Oh, it's fantastic.
This is
I
your
love it.
trophy. I need to.
How did you illustrate my dreams? I don't know how you did it.
I need to
I'll never
name
divulge
one
my
here
secrets.
and everything, and like sign it. I feel like I need to get like a stamp or something. Stamp of the show being like official. Yeah. Awards are the first
Does it
ever.
say champion on there?
I haven't written anything yet. I will make sure it says champion. New sticky note.
Have to
When
send
you
it
hold
in
the
a
black
frame.
light to it, it says
Yeah.
champion across it.
It
There you
should.
go.
You should put it in a frame that's shaped like a trophy.
You wouldn't see the picture then.
It's pretty great. It's pretty awesome. I can't wait. I'll put it up in my office for sure.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was fantastic.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Yes.
I mean, I deserve it, but thank you.
Of course.
I mean, earned it and everything. but-
Yeah. I asked her after the show, I was like, are you planning on doing anything for that? And she was like, no. And I was like, I have an idea. So there you go.
He kept me in
Excellent.
line, Marcus. And I wasn't going to do anything because I hadn't thought of anything yet.
Well, it surprised me too because I thought you were going to say, "Oh, we had another game to play." I was like, "All right, I'm going to be a double champion."
If I had a game already made, I would. But unfortunately, again, tonight is not your challenge night. But your challenge night will come again.
That's fine.
It's a glorious night.
I thought she was faking you out for a second.
What's that?
I thought she was faking you out for a second.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything, but I have these cards right here.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that good tonight. But yeah, honestly, I pray for anybody that do because I feel like they'll have hell to pay for winning. Awesome. Well, do we have any last thoughts on By the Horns, on the Kickstarters, anything like that before we go into our next segment? I'll start with Eric. I know you've been pretty quiet this segment, but I want to make sure we weren't leaving you out.
No, it's fine. I'd rather let Marcus on. This is his sort of spotlight. Just keep up the good work. Writing is, I know it's a tough art, but like I feel like indie comics, especially with like people whose stories generally don't get seen the light of day when compared to like the already pre-established stuff, I think it's just more important that new stories get told, and we keep you keep up the good work writing and let the neighborhood kind of promote what what you and everybody else is doing.
Well, thanks, Eric. Yeah, I'll do my best. I'm having a blast. So,
If you
I mean, I love the indie community. I feel like since I started writing By the Horns, actually, I've met more people. Like I met people at conventions, but I feel like I know more people now online, and I feel the community a little stronger. To be honest, I didn't really feel much of being part of a community until By the Horns, and now I definitely feel that stronger, and I enjoy that part of it. I like how people are just really enthusiastic and positive about all these indie books that are coming out, and I feel the same way, and hopefully we can help push all the great books so that people can see them, and it's not just DC, Marvel, and Image, Dark Horse stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Really well said. Chase,
Agreed.
any last thoughts?
I don't think another person deserved another spotlight more than this book and Marcus on. I think I even, whenever you were saying who to thank or what you liked about your show, I think I even said Marcus on because his episode made me buy the book. Guess Jeff Schiller's episode made me buy the book too. But I always really enjoy these segments where you talk to the indie creators, and it does, I think, help comic community. I mean, you might only get 4 or 5 buys from the random podcasts you do, but I think it still helps and gets the names out there. And I hope that more indie creators keep doing them, because I wouldn't know about you if it wasn't for this show, probably. And I know that's sad
awesome
to say, but it's very true. And it's brought me into, put you on my radar. And, so I just keep it up.
Well, thanks for picking up the book. Yeah. I don't ever feel sad about it because everybody's got to find it somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, you're somebody who looks through previews all the time and you want to find something unique. Maybe it's word of mouth, or maybe it's a show like The Neighborhood here. However you can find it and whenever you can find it is fine with me. I actually really like when people come up to me and like, I didn't know anything about your book, and I bought the first issue and then I had to buy everything else. Or they come up to me, I'm at a show, and they buy the book and they read it that night, and then they come back the next day and then they got to buy more. That always makes me feel really good, And of course, I love all the fans who've like stuck with me and Jason since we started doing Voracious, since we broke into comic books, 'cause like without that audience and like the support of everybody there, we won't be able to do more books, because our books, they survive on word of mouth,
Yeah. Valley Rock, anything you want to add?
Keep up the good work, man. You guys are killing it, obviously.
Oh, thank you. And I love that you're the By the Horns leader. That's
so great.
Perfect.
Got a t-shirt for you. That's gonna be a goal next year.
We really appreciate it.
I'll see what I can do. I will absolutely keep spreading the positive word. I keep occasionally buying random issues and giving them out, and that seems to be working.
Oh man, I should try that.
I think you have.
I was curious, did you know the artist beforehand, or what was your reaction when you first saw their art and what your story could look like?
Oh, yeah, I knew Jason. So I lived in New York and I moved to Illinois in 2000. So the first thing I had to do when I moved was find a comic book shop, of course. So I found one, and Jason was actually working at it, and he was young. He was like 17 or something.
Aww.
This is
And
awesome.
so he was drawing and everything. And, I had been a writer. I went to school for writing, and there was a contest online to write some like fanfic for the book, The Authority. I don't know if you guys know that book, but it's pretty influential in comics for like widescreen.
It's a great book.
So I wrote this story and I won this online contest, and I had the script. So I gave it to Jason, and he ended up drawing a couple pages of it. And then he went off to art school, and I didn't see him again for like 10 years. And I don't know. And then fast forward, and a buddy of ours who used to run that shop, who was the manager of the shop, his name's Bobby, he was working on a comic book. And he asked me to come and help write it, but he also had a couple other people to write it, and he was still in touch with Jason. So I tried to work on this book, but it was just too many writers. It was like 4 writers, and I had a different take on where it should go. But Bobby had sent some of the material to Jason, and Jason had drawn like character sketches. I was like, oh man, he's gotten pretty good from going to art school. So the project just fell apart. I left it, and then it fell apart. And then I had Jason's contact information, so I just contacted him. And I said, hey, I know this project fell apart, but I have some other ideas for comics. Do you want to just go and have a beer and we can talk about them? So we did. So we met up, and I pitched him, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 ideas. But Voracious was the one that we both really wanted to do. And then there's a twist at the end of the first volume. I don't want to give it away, but that I told Jason about, and that's what really sold him on the book. But also, I had those pages that he drew for The Authority years and years before. I'd saved them. And I gave the pages back to Jason. And he had forgotten he even worked on them. And it was pretty interesting to see how far he had come. And of course, since Voracious, if you look at those early issues of Voracious and then you look at his latest issue of By the Horns, he's grown so much. He seems like he gets so much better every single issue. And he's already at a pretty high level now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I knew Jason. And the thing is, like, we go out and talk about the story together because we don't live that far from each other. And So we do it a little bit different. It's not like I just send him scripts. You know, I come up with an idea and then we meet up and then I tell him about the idea and then, you know, he comes up with ideas for things that he might want to see or draw in the book. And we just talk about it for hours before I ever like sit down and really, really write those scripts out. So we're really invested in all of our books because we're truly co-creating them together, like right from the ground floor. So I love working with that kid. And, you know, hopefully, you know, we get to work on books our entire comics career. I want to see him go off and do stuff for DC and Marvel. And he actually just tested for one of those pretty recently. So that's cool. But, you know, I hope we always come back and work on comics together. Cause I feel like we have something as a duo, you know? I think we can always get better with every new series we do.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all that. That was one fantastic story. Like, honestly, that's a movie level story. It's like, oh yeah, you meet 10 years later, and you know, you're.
I feel like everybody was just staring at the screen. Everyone in the chat, like we're all just like enthralled about what was going on there. It was great.
Hey, you asked, Chase.
That's so great. And honestly, you know, having a partnership, a duo like that, and holding on to it, like I am very big on that as well. So I'm completely with you. Hold on to that. Obviously, you know, you guys might do other projects and all that, but if you guys can even come back together every once in a while when you guys are doing other things, you guys.
I love a great writer artist duo.
For sure.
It just syncs up. The best stories come from that.
Yeah, it's because we became friends by working on the book. You know, like we knew each other, and I went to the shop and bought books when he worked there, but we didn't really become friends until we started working on Voracious. Yeah. So that's the best part. You know, yeah, it's awesome creating comics, but it's even better making a friend, you know, that you probably have for your whole life, and creating something together like that. It's just special.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Totally. I couldn't agree more. And on that note, speaking of friends, I wanted to go to our next segment, which is going to be our neighbor spotlight. And for this segment, we are going to bring on another friend who has been waiting very patiently in the green room. He's got a Santa hat on, which is different than his normal beanie. So any of his fans will be like, "What is that on your head? It's not your beanie." But let's go ahead and bring on Sean from the Caption Life podcast. What's up, Sean?
Christmas is coming early for me because I know I'm winning the election tonight.
Yes, in case you do not know, for some reason, like you didn't vote or what have you, Sean is up against Amanda Waller, yes, a fictional character, for neighborhood HOA president, and he is confident he is winning. We've got the winning energy of Marcus-on and Sean tonight, but Sean, will yours stick? Will it stick?
Can we call him Santa Claus?
Yes.
Yes.
Santa Claus. That's amazing.
Where are you at, Eric? That was just right there for you.
He's being an observer. He has his Bruce Wayne hat on. He's in Bruce Wayne mode.
Hey, Sean.
Do we need to do a recall vote for neighborhood Punisher now?
Hey, Sean, you better watch out.
Well,
no revote needed.
For all the children that probably shouldn't be watching this, but if you are, look, Santa Claus is here. Not Santa Claus. Santa Claus isn't real. Santa Claus is real, though.
I'm very real.
He doesn't bring toys, just a winning attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the lights that make it.
It is.
It's really good. It's
festive.
I
need to change this one to a green one pretty soon. So
it's working for you though.
Blue is, it's a winter color, so you're all right.
It is.
It is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, it would make sense. Like in December, do green, in January, go back to blue.
Yeah.
That could
True.
work.
That's a good point. Yep.
Either way. Well, real quickly for this very quick segment, I want to just talk about some neighbors that you guys shouted out on Twitter. So Chase, you already mentioned it, and I wanted to show it earlier to be like, I have the receipts, but I have the receipts. So yes, Chase, you shouted out Jeff Schiller, the writer and creator of Magic Powder, Mark Son, and you also shouted out Grimace Wayne, which is Derek, who writes What Makes a Man, and Ricky Z and Joe Loves Comics. I love all the shout outs. Those are all freaking amazing people. They're part of the neighborhood for a reason. Anything you wanted to add about your shout outs there?
No, most of them are in there because, well, I was on the show with Grimace and I can't forget the other one name all of a sudden.
Ricky,
yeah, sorry, Ricky Z. I keep wanting to say Z, but also just Joe, just because in the comments, like I just have a lot of fun in the live chat. I could have just put down everybody's name. It's just fun to come to. When even if I show up late, I still just jump right into the conversations, and it's just a good time. So shout out to everybody. And there was Mark Son and Jeff, because out of the people on the show whose books I got, they were by far the best. And just their interviews were just, they seem so down to earth and cool, and people you just like hang out with and talk to. And I enjoyed them. Enjoyed the vibes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be fun one day to like have like a small like mini neighborhood convention where we can all meet up somewhere and literally just sit and like have beers and talk and just hang out for like the weekend.
Doing that
The
now.
neighborhood cookout.
That's true.
Yeah. Just,
I'm out of
Well,
beer. Though. I
imagine-
gotta get some more.
Imagine the chaos in person, though. For some reason, I feel like it would go from here to here. Like,
that'd be
we
fun.
could be bad influences on each other. I could see that for sure.
yeah.
Listen, just like I'm a champion on the neighborhood, I'm a champion drinker. So you got to bring your A game.
Challenge?
Oh yeah. You won't be able to live up to the challenge. Trust me.
I wouldn't try. I know.
I fully believe you drink like a Viking.
That's true. I should bring my by the horns horn out here, my drinking horn.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Brimming
awesome.
mead.
And drink
Yeah.
out of the helmet.
You know, I have Conan's helmet from the movie. I have the replica of it.
Why are you not
upstairs.
wearing that?
I didn't want to upstage Santa Claus.
Oh, you have permission to wear that anytime you want. It does not matter.
Definitely need to keep the hat game going on the show.
That would be pretty funny. It's live to see who can wear what hat everybody's wearing. That'd be fun.
It's true, because Chase and we're the only ones who don't have hats.
That's true.
I don't wear hats. I used to wear hats constantly, but since I got the long hair, it's so bushy and thick that a hat just doesn't stay on and looks stupid. But I like that it's toboggan beanie weather. I wear those a lot more now.
Right, yeah. And I don't really wear
I got
hats
one
in
that
the
has-
bathroom either.
I got one that has speakers in it, so I can just walk around and listen to stuff.
All right.
I also feel like if you have a mohawk, you kind of have to show it off. You can't hide that. With
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, that's true. Well, I
I
mean, it's hard
use-
to wear a hat with like those
Just
headphones
cut a
that
slit in all your
Yeah.
hats so your mohawk pops out.
I mohawk short now, though, because I shaved it all off recently, and then I started growing it.
It's
back
funny
again.
is in the last episode you were talking about how long your mohawk was and how you
It was
needed to cut
ridiculous.
it.
Yeah, well, because it was a greasy rat tail, and I had to get it off of there.
You need to
Well,
keep
wait.
growing. It needs to be like SLC Punk, like the huge mohawk that like flops around.
Yeah. Well, I've seen it. Like I watch wrestling. Like Brock Lesnar has that, and then he put it in a ponytail. I was like, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
That's
So,
a little much.
Brock Lesnar can pull it off for sure.
I mean, I'm sure I could pull it off, but I don't want to
I don't know
try.
about Brock.
I don't have the patience to grow it. I used to have really long hair because I'm a metalhead. Back in college, I had really long hair, and I tried to grow it out again, but it just, I don't know, it doesn't work anymore. I'm old.
The pandemic, I just stopped going to the barber and I haven't gone back since. So
really?
it's just long.
Well, I'm gonna finish up real quick so we can talk do our last segment and then get to the re-election announcements and see if Santa Claus is voted in office or kept out. So we'll just have to see. We had another tweet here from @HappyMan, who is a fan of the show. He shouted out a couple people here. I know the ones they pull. There's some of the tweets I know. I also shout out Evan Reed's Comics @Jake's Comic Stuff and @Strange SJP. And Valley Rock, you also shout out Mark Hassan, obviously. You can't say Mark Hassan, you have to say obviously. But it was really fun to see you also shout out David Boer, who I remember that interview very well because I remember when him and I chatted, and we also like chat offline and stuff at times, and it didn't even feel like an interview to me as the interviewer. Like I felt like I was just talking shit with David Boer while the camera's pointed up. So
that interview definitely got me to check out some of his books for sure.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
I would point out I'm doing pretty well in this interview too.
You're doing amazing. I'm not even interviewing you either. We're talking about drinking out of the horn and whatever the hell else is happening. There's absolutely so much happening. Well, all that said, let's go into our last segment before we get to the announcing of the winners of the re-elections. I want to take a moment, of course, to talk about this month in comics. So I'm not sure if I relayed this information well enough or not, but basically I wanted each of us to kind of think about your top comic of November, or if you can't pick just one fave you want to talk about. What you enjoyed this month that came out, or if you are super behind on your releases, that's okay. You know, talk about something that you read, no matter when it was, that you really enjoyed. Eric, did you want to go first?
Yeah. Despite most of my month getting caught up on all the Top Cow comics I missed for a decade, I do have two comics that came out this month that I really enjoyed, and it really is a toss-up. The last issue of Poison Ivy, I think was number 5, and then Mr. Freeze One Bad Day.
Nice.
So it's tough because they are both absolutely stellar books. I really am glad Poison Ivy is being finally turned into an anti-hero in the comics. I think her character is probably better suited for that than the sort of weird plant-based femme fatale she was originally created to be back in the 60s. And just sort of doing things of like environmentalism and things like that. So, but One Bad Day, the Mr. Freeze story, absolutely incredible. The series as a whole really demonstrates just how awesome one-shot stories can be, and that how much of a lost art it's become within, especially when DC, where everything feels like a separate arc now that lasts multiple issues. It's actually nice to actually pick up a comic and have a self-contained story in one issue. Especially with the Freeze one, where it kind of does a sort of nice interweaving of different interpretations of Mr. Freeze, and also kind of harkens back to his origin story with sort of a young Dick Grayson Robin with sort of an early years Batman type of story. Something else we usually don't see in Batman comics that often these days. And definitely am enjoying One Bad Day as a whole because of the sort of ability for these excellent writers and artists who just tell one single story about one villain they like and not have to worry about anything else. Fantastic. So definitely, if you have not picked up One Bad Day or Poison Ivy, y'all are missing out because they're actually, I think, better than most of the big DC books going on right now. So
nice. Yeah,
cool.
I've been reading Poison Ivy. It's really good. Also heard a lot of good things about One Bad Day from a lot of other people as well. Good picks. Chase, what about you?
My top of the month came at the very first week of the month, but it's the conclusion of That Texas Blood.
Nice.
It was a great series. It's been out for 19 issues, so 2 years worth of just probably one of my favorite comics for 2 years now, ever since it started. It's just so good. So that's definitely the conclusion of that storyline was perfect. I loved it. And that would be my top of the thing. But I also want to shout out Bolly Rock real fast because I didn't say his name on the thing, but we have a joint Spotify playlist together.
Nice.
Because he just threw it on Twitter one day. Does anybody want to have a Spotify playlist together? So I did it, and great music selection. Or I still
Same.
listen to it,
Same.
and it changes every once in a while. And it there's a nice like cross connection of our musical interests, and it's a good playlist. So shout out to you, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're part
I
of my
agree.
life weekly.
That's awesome. I didn't even know you could do that, but that's because I don't use Spotify because I'm named. So
That's okay.
Valerie, want to go next?
Sure. I'm going to kind of cheat because my book of the month hasn't come out yet, but it's coming out this week. I'm going to give a shout out to Vanish by Donnie Cates and Ryan Stegman. It's like dark Harry Potter leaves and comes into the real world and gets super violent. It's pretty great so far. I'm really curious to see where the story goes. It's this weird blend between like wizardry and heroes, because like when the characters come to our world, they're like kind of existing as superheroes, but it's like a glamour, and you see that no, they're like old wizards who've like gone through all this like terrible stuff in this other wizardly dimension. Then they come here and they're heroes, but not really. And then this other guy's hunting them down. It sounds very complicated, and it is. It's a great story so far. And of course, another shout out to Do a Powerbomb.
Yes, do a Powerbomb. I've been loving. I've heard a lot of things about.
The only thing I know about Vanish is I saw that Daniel Ward Johnson cover, and I thought, oh, this looks awesome. But I don't know anything else about it, so that sounds good.
It is so far. There's only 2 issues out. Number 3 comes out this Wednesday. Worth checking out for sure.
Nice, good to know. Marcus, on anything you want to shout out?
Hell yeah! This is my freaking book of the month. Fend.
Ooh.
This book is awesome. So, it's by Nick Pyle. It's his first graphic novel. It's a 60-page oversized hardcover by Death Wish, which is actually a metal record label, but they put this book out. So the book it's this dystopian Western about 2 space wizards tracking down this injured biomechanical wire creature. So it's basically like, look at this craziness. I don't know if you can see it.
I'm going to get a little bigger. There we go.
All right, hold on a second. Nice. I don't want to give stuff away, but. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
That's really cool.
How big is that book?
It's fucking big. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's like coffee table.
That's awesome.
Here's a normal comic, and this is.
That's huge.
Right?
Wow. It is huge. And it's their first one, 60 pages, you said?
Yeah, but it's basically 40 pages of story and 20 pages of behind the scenes. So I love it because it has this big dramatic art and vibrant colors like you just saw. And the character designs are just incredibly cool. Like I'll show that cover again, but you can see these are the space wizards. And it was 100% created by hand using pen, marker, and paint pens. So no digital editing in it. So it has a really organic feel to the book. And I just dig those colors. They kind of remind me of Barry Windsor Smith's colors.
That's amazing.
If you know, like if you you've seen his like Wolverine stuff and all that. So those tones, I feel like they're very Barry Windsor Smith-esque. And there's hardly any dialogue in this. Instead, Nick uses sound effects, and then he uses these descriptors to give you an idea of what's happening in the book and what it sounds like. So you'll see stuff like inhuman bellowing. Instead of like putting a sound effect, he writes inhuman bellowing or single note guitar. So it's like single guitar note. So you can hear that in your head, like when somebody enters into a room, like, I don't know, or electrical zapping sound. He'll actually write that out instead of like trying to put Krzak or something like that, So, And the fight itself is it's really dynamic and weird as hell. And I just had a blast flipping through the pages and watching it unfold. There's not a ton of story in the book or real stakes for the characters, but sometimes I just want something fun and fucked up, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't want something heavy. Sometimes I just want something that makes me smile and something that just makes me appreciate comic book art. And that's what that book did for me. So, unfortunately, they only made 500 copies of this thing, and I think it's sold out already.
Damn.
Bummer.
And he's writer and artist.
Yeah. Look at this.
Yeah, that's
That almost
beautiful.
looks like colored pencils.
Yeah, it does. With the lines.
Yeah. So anyway, I think they only made 500. I think it's sold out. I mean, I'm hoping that they'll do a second print or put it in soft cover or put it out digitally for people who missed it.
I'll say.
I feel like a book like that doesn't need to be seen digitally. Like, I feel like that one would have to be so big and in your face.
Yeah, I mean, probably
No,
intended to be that way.
It's part of the charm because it's huge. Like I don't have many books that big. But yeah, I like that.
That'll be our
Anyway,
first
so-
neighborhood petition to get a second print run on that.
There we
Who's
go.
the publisher?
It's called
label.
Death Wish. Death Wish.
All right.
They're a record label, but
All right, Death Wish, we're coming for you. We are coming for you. Your name does not scare us. We are coming for you.
this son of a bitch, it just came out. I think it came out yesterday, and it's like, or this past week, and it's already sold out. I think, but 500 copies is not a lot.
No,
I'm not surprised it's sold out. Look at it. Just looking at it.
I'm tempted to check eBay and see how much it is. Like,
oh yeah,
the prices have probably gone up.
This is the character design. Sorry, I'm spending so much time on this, but
no, it's okay.
Oh, it looks fantastic.
We're good, man. We don't have to edit it.
Right. Anyways.
All right, Marcus, we're all going to meet up at your house at some point and do story time because you're going to have the one copy that we can get hold of.
I read a lot of
circle behind around you.
And I read a lot of
up by the
weird
fireplace.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but it's got to be a fireplace thing with Marcus.
Yeah, bonfire.
Come gather around the fire, Santa Claus. I've got a story for you. I don't know why I sound like Sean Connery, but friend, read friend.
I love it. I think it's perfect to go to Sean or Santa Claus over here now. Speaking of Sean's, what you got, Santa Claus?
Mayor Sean.
So I technically have two, but I'll be really quick about both of them. I'm usually a Marvel Comics guy, but I have a few DC comics that I'm really enjoying that really surprised me. And the first one is the Dark Knights of Steel, which kind of went on pause for a little bit earlier this year. And then the 8th issue came out this month. So I decided to go ahead and read all of them. And I wish I read them earlier because they were just fantastic. It's a great way to tell a new story with the characters that we know, but in a different, universe and story and different relationships and power struggles and stuff like that. And so I have absolutely been loving that. The other one that really surprised me that I really love is Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, because I wrote a review of that for Comic Watch because they needed somebody to write it. And I've never heard of it. It didn't have any expectations going in. And it is a great story. It captures you in the first issue and just makes you want to sit down and read the whole thing. And it's a really different story than what I've been used to. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody if you haven't read it yet, but that's definitely one I would recommend if you're looking for a new story to read. That one is a really good one to pick up and put on your pull list.
Nice. Yeah, I'd seen that and I was like, another Joker book I could give a shit less, If you say it has value to it, then I might give it the time of day and check out that first issue. Dark Knights of Steel, I have all kinds of weird feelings about, so I'm not going to take the time to talk about it. Particularly how they handle Supergirl and the name change and all its weird jet. I don't understand DC. Like, what's your problem? But on a lighter note, I really enjoyed Among Snakes. from Sean Lewis. That has been my top pick for a while. It had its last issue come out this month. And it was actually a final issue and actually wrapped up, which I say because a lot of times, sometimes people do indie series and they leave it open because they're like, yeah, I'll continue it. It's had a clear-cut ending. It was like, this is beyond done. And that series just surprised me so much because I gave it a shot because I like Sean Lewis's Bliss. I love that story. And other stuff he's read. So I was like, okay, let me try this new one. It's a Western. But it was just so well done. It shocked me how funny it was. Also, like, I'm laughing one page and then 2 pages later, I'm like feeling things I haven't felt in 10 years. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, how dare you? But I would definitely recommend checking out Among Snakes if you haven't already, even if you're not the biggest fan of Westerns. This one you might enjoy depending on who you are. And yeah,
I think it's called Above Snakes, though, actually, Lauren, just so people know.
God dang it, I did it again. You're right, Marcus. It is Above Snakes. Son of a...
Yeah.
I said Among, didn't I swear.
Yeah. I like Among Snakes. That's a cool title.
Yeah.
That would be.
But
I need to like trademark that before
It's a
somebody
spin-off
takes it,
series.
because I keep saying it.
Exactly.
it's the
They were
follow-up.
above, now we're among.
Hmm.
They fell a little bit.
Let me tell you a story of the second snake coming. Among snakes.
I like snakes would be creepy though. Just
True.
saying.
Unless
I
it's
don't
like a
know.
kid's book, like it's an eel hiding among snakes, like trying to pretend he's a snake.
Oh, nice.
Listen, Marcus, you're the one person I will say you have the rights to use that. I know I said it. I'll give the rights to you. You can do something with that if you want.
There you go.
Nice.
You probably don't want it, but you can if you want.
It'll be the next subtitle. Above, by the horns, among snakes. Number 1.
Cool.
Can I just echo something Sean just said? Because I think DC's Black Label game has been a really good positive game changer for that publisher.
Mhm.
The ability to tell stories and not worry about either the monthly format or continuity, I think has allowed greater flexibility in storytelling depth within that universe. And it's been something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I also want to spotlight a book that wrapped up the last week of October, so not a November comic, but Catwoman Lonely City. Fantastic. To recommend a Black Label book.
Yep.
Probably one of the best Catwoman books I've read in a while, and definitely has a sort of interesting, it's like Catwoman's version of Dark Knight Returns, but a sort of modern contemporary context. But absolutely love that book. Love what DC's doing with Black Label. But outside of the big two, it seems like definitely some good indie stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice things going on between indies and like AUs and like you said, Black Label. There's a lot of great options out there. So, yeah, those you guys watching this on the replay, because I know people will watch this later. Feel free to check all those great picks out. I think they're all good, even if I haven't read it. You guys all have great taste. But I think it's time. It's time to get ready for our re-elections. So I am going to put everybody in the green room. So thank you so much to Sean, Marcuson, Ballyrock, Chase, the Punisher, Eric. Thank you all so much for being on and sharing your comics and talk about Kickstarters and all this great stuff. And if we don't see you later tonight, we will see you guys next time here on The Neighborhood.
All right. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. And it's fun talking with all of you.
Yeah.
Enjoyed every one of you. It was fun.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
All right. Take care, neighbors.
All righty, everybody. So I put them in the green room. It is time for the moment you've all been waiting for. We are going to announce the winners of the re-elections. Thank you so much to everybody who has hung on until this point. We just have so much to talk about comics, especially once a month. I know we all have so much to say. It's a great time. So here we go. We are going to go ahead and get started with our first category, our first option. We are going to announce the winner for Good Test. If I can get it to work properly. There we go. Venom versus the Joker. They are next up. And I think the person that was supposed to help me announce this one stepped off. So that is okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So this one was actually probably the toughest category, I think, in terms of like people getting excited about it. So I'm very excited to see who won this because, again, Joker was a nominee and people like Chris want the chaos and other people don't want the chaos. So let's find out who won. So wants to play. Apparently it does not want to play. This is the struggle. I was going to show a video of the absolute winner. Oh, it is playing? Oh, Chris said it's playing. Okay, cool. I'm so sorry, y'all. I can't see it on my end. It played twice. Did you see who won? Or do I need to play it all the way through? Okay, fantastic. Cool. So as you guys saw, and I did not apparently, Venom was the winner. Super duper exciting. So he gets to hold his title. So I apologize to all the Joker fans, but Venom kept his title. And I wanted to shout out some fun nominees we had for that category. So we had something called Accomplished Perfect Physician. I don't know who that is, but they were nominated. We had Toad, we had The Mask, we had Thomas Wayne, and The Hulk. So shout out to everybody that sent in other nominees. Those are really great options. I really enjoyed seeing them. Our next category is our neighborhood gardener. And we are going to bring back two people because I was going to bring them on for first one and it just didn't happen. So let's bring back the Punisher and Chase.
Hey. Accomplished Perfect Physician is a Chinese superhero in the, I think, DC universe. And he's awesome. He's an accomplished perfect physician, Lauren. I think he could be a dentist.
I believe you, but I mean, physician's different than a dentist. Like, there's a whole separate tool for that.
I wouldn't know that.
If you guys feel up to saying who, and try to keep it short because I want to keep going through these. Who did you want to take this, Doom or Ivy?
Ivy.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if you guys are going to be happy with this winner. Ivy took it. Yay. It's like everybody had common sense this time instead of however Doom got nominated.
Doom was not in bloom.
That was good. That was really good. I appreciate that, Eric. One of the fun nominees I personally appreciated for this was Guy Gardner because of his last name. Yeah. I really appreciate that. So shout out to the neighbor who put that one in. That was very hilarious. I really enjoyed that. So no upset yet. You guys seem pretty happy about Ivy winning.
That's how I figured it would go. Made the most sense.
I'll take it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for popping back in.
Yeah, no
Thank
problem.
you.
All righty. Now we're going to start getting to some bigger ones that have upset. Our second to last one is our neighborhood mayor. So this one was a crazy one because there were so many different nominees for this one, where Gardner was heavily Ivy and a few other people. This one had a ton. So we've got a huge showdown here. So to help me with this huge showdown super quickly is Chris Evans and Emmett Davis again.
Yeah.
All right. Who are you guys hoping is going to take it? Or who, you know what, we can do who you hope and who do you think is actually.
Who I think it'll just be Storm again because she was the one before, right? I don't think she should win. I think I put Waller just because she seems to be the most mayoral and the one who can get shit done. I think that's who I put on when I did my vote.
Okay.
Can Waller be both though? Is that allowed?
Sure, that's exactly. Well, that's her deal. She's that strong, and that and that's
I mean, that makes sense.
She can do what she wants.
That's if it isn't really just Lauren in a Halloween costume.
Exactly. That's how we'll know, though. If Waller does win, that's Lauren.
Two places at the same time.
I mean, that's how good I am. Thank you. I will take it. That's how. Chris, did you want the Joker for this one?
Yeah.
But he didn't get the dentist.
That's okay. I knew he'd be. This is the bigger thing. This is what he deserves.
This is the bigger one.
This is what he deserves. But I don't think he won. It probably went to Storm if I had to guess. But I think Joker should have it. He's it's a big deal.
All right. Well, let's find out who the winner is.
Well then.
Yep.
So, you guys predicted correctly. You guys both look so upset. I thought one of you would be happy. Damn.
No, as the kids say, it's just a very mid pick.
Mid.
Then how did it get picked? Everybody's
I have
like
no
the majority.
People just want calm, I guess. I don't know what's going on here.
Did you have who else did you have that were nominated? Anybody else put any funky picks in this one?
There were some, yes. Good. I'm glad you asked. So Snow White from
Professor
Fables, that was a choice. Professor X, which why? Mr. Terrific, sure. And then Nightcrawler. Why didn't more people nominate him? What's wrong with y'all?
Did you do that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I'm shocked.
You're doing your own vote, Lauren.
Listen, I didn't vote at all. That's why I was shocked. I think somebody did to try to make me happy. But I was like, oh, I didn't think.
That's not a bad idea, though. To have Nightcrawler as the mayor. It's not a bad idea.
You're right.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal could do it for sure. I agree. Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal for sure. Yeah.
And for that, you get booted out. No, I'm kidding. Time for Emmett to leave. All right, cool, guys. Well, thank you so much for helping me announce that. I'm sorry you both are disappointed, but you're welcome to take your disappointments up with the board that we haven't.
I was going to say, when's the next election? Another re-election show? When's the next one?
This is rigged. Nightcrawler was in the nominees.
Yeah, come on.
Well, we will be having another one as long as after this one I don't get hate messages, but we'll see.
We will see.
Thank you guys so much. Oh,
thanks, Lauren.
Comes to my house, takes away my Amanda Waller costume. You don't have the right anymore. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Again, all you watching, be sure to check out Gathering of the Geeks with these two fine gents. They are awesome. They create the best environment, best community. Thanks again, you guys. You guys are so great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren.
And for our last one, we have our HOA president. So this is, I would argue, the most special election this time because this is the only one where a real person, a real neighbor is in it versus Amanda Waller. So let's bring him back. Let's bring back Sean, also known as Shanta Claus now. What is up?
Should I go ahead and give my acceptance speech now?
I mean, you can, but what if you lose? But what if?
Oh, well, then it's rigged. Then it's rigged.
What if it's rigged? What if it's rigged? All right. Well, to join in on the fun, I wanted to bring him back one more time. We're going to bring Chase back on. What is up, Chase?
Hey. How's it going?
So I wanted to bring in their voice because Sean really thinks he's going to win this, right? And I needed to hear from another voter. Do you think A, he's going to win this, and B, do you want him to win it, or do you want Waller to win it?
The way I voted is what I want, and that is HOA Sean all the way.
Okay, all right, we got a Sean supporter live. Amazing.
He has my vote.
Why would you want to have Waller in any sort of position where she has access to everything? Like, just look at her track record. How does she even get that position to begin with?
I thought it was rigged
you all
to begin
voted.
with. Not my vote.
I don't know what to tell you. Other than it's time. Let's see the moment of truth. Who will be our HOA president? Sean took it with 55.6% of the votes. Sean is your new neighborhood HOA president.
I'm not gonna lie. I expected you to have like streamers or something, Sean. I expected like there'd be a pop of confetti coming down.
I thought about actually doing like a little virtual camera where I could have all that stuff like popping out and everything, just kind of overlaying the whole time. I thought about it. I just didn't have enough time to do it.
That'll be next time, because again, when we have re-elections, you're gonna have to go against someone else, Sean. You're gonna have to maintain your status, your title.
What was the result? I won by 55%. Is that what you said?
You got 55.6% of the votes. So it was a
gosh.
lot closer than you probably think.
Close.
Yeah, you got some work to do in the neighborhood, Sean. You gotta get your rating
I don't know how
up.
Waller's
bring
getting
down,
them
it was like one vote.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Every vote matters. See?
Yeah.
It looks like everybody's happy. I don't know who voted for Waller, but it wasn't anybody here, I guess, because everybody is
bots. It was bots.
Everybody is ecstatic. Sean, have you decided what your first act as HOA president will be, or will we find out later?
My first what?
Your first act as HOA president.
Well, it was suggested that I should ban Dr. Stephen Strange from the neighborhood. But I feel like it wouldn't be very friendly.
Yeah, that isn't very friendly.
Yeah, you know, like even though I have beef with him, that doesn't mean I'm going to ban him just because I'm in this position. I don't abuse power like Amanda Waller does.
Wow, already dumping on your opponent. Very political.
I just want to see the video of her packing her office up and leaving.
She's saying, "I'll be back."
Has some sort of secret underground layer under the neighborhood where she's still running things behind the scene. She's like, "I'm just making Sean win just so I can actually be behind the scenes and no one knows what I'm actually doing. I'm going to take over the neighborhood. And it'll be too late before anyone can figure out what's going on." But I'm on to you, Waller.
Yeah, this is all part of her plan. She's really starting the black market in the neighborhood underground right now as we speak. And it's not me in a costume. It's not me. I would never do that.
Yeah, why are you so keen on Waller winning, Lauren?
I wasn't. I just
don't want to lose that control.
I want to what? Don't want to lose.
So you don't want to lose all that control?
Oh, honestly, Sean can. I mean, he has the control now. I have no title in this neighborhood. I'm in my dark room. Remember? Nobody can bother me. I really want to see in the future, like, two neighbors run against each other. That'll be hysterical.
Oh man, that would be good.
Awesome.
Well, Sean,
just to start getting political videos.
Political videos, yes. I would honestly love it.
Sean wanted to segregate the neighborhood. He wanted no magic users.
Sean voted no
it's true.
for the Joker.
He's no on fun.
Oh, shit.
That's exactly what I hope to see in the future. I want to see craziness like that. I think that would be so fun. Well, congratulations, Sean, or Shanta Claus. I don't know what you want to be called. Sean, Shanta Claus, neighborhood HOA president. You've done it. You have accomplished everything.
You've peaked. You've done it.
Yep.
Well, I I can't wait to see what your first act as HOA president will be. I'm looking forward to seeing it on TikTok or Twitter or whatever you decide to do with that act. But everybody, if you have any issues with your trash cans tomorrow, that's your new HOA prez. Now, Sean, are you going to be a more strict leader, or are you going to be more lax or balanced? What's your leader style, or do we just have to find out?
My leadership style is going to be if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'm going to be a hands off until people come up and say there's problems. Then I'll get involved. I'm not one of those where I get micromanagey. I just wait until the problem shows up, and then we can figure out together as a community. But I think I have enough faith in this community that there won't be any problems.
Okay, no problems. Not with Mr. Sensor and Black Cat as your neighborhood bank robbers. We have neighborhood bank robbers, but we have no problem.
You'd have a neighborhood town hall.
But we know who they are, so if there's ever a robbery, we already know who it is.
That's a good point. Unless there's somebody underground coming up from Waller. Identify them. Exactly. Get them, Sean.
Yep.
One more for the victory rap for Sean. A fun fact. The Joker was nominated for 2 categories, dentist and mayor, and Waller was also nominated for 2 categories, mayor and HOA. Both of them lost all their nominations.
Good.
So something to keep in mind if you're a Waller fan or a Joker fan, or if you're Sean and you want your approval rating to go up. There you go. Those are the facts. But all that said, guys, it's been a great show. This is probably one of our longest shows yet. So again, thank you so much, everybody that watched live and those of you watching on the replay. Please feel free to comment your thoughts and what you thought watching it. I'd love to hear it. I know everybody watching would. And let us know what you think Sean's first act of being HOA president should be. Maybe depending on what kind of leader he is, he'll take that into account if we're lucky.
We'll
awesome.
See.
Well, thank you guys, Sean, Chase. Thanks for being on. Thank you to everybody else that was on. Eric, Chris, Bally Rock, Marcus on, Emmett. If I forgot somebody, sorry. It's been an hour and 42 minutes. But our next live show will be in December. I haven't announced it yet, so be sure to check out our Twitter and or our Discord to be on the lookout for that. We will be having a live show in December, and the show's Twitter is at NBHD Comic Show. If you'd like to follow that. And otherwise, thank you guys again so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time in the neighborhood.